Okay, so here's my issue. The role of central banks, the Reserve Bank, the Fed, whatever you want to call them in the various countries, mostly relates to monetary policy, the degree to which they can protect the currency of the country, that will curb unemployment from getting out of hand, that will keep inflation within the targeted bands. But nowhere in any economic textbook, at least when I went to school and university, does it say that the Fed, the central banks, they should be concerned with stock market performance. Yet the minute the market takes a correction, we hear them wanting to rush in. Okay, Asian central banks such as Indonesia and China, they said that they were going to step in when the coronavirus first hit, even before markets took a serious knock. But today and over the weekend, the BOE, the BOJ, the Fed, they echoed the same words, that they're there on the sidelines ready to jump in. So, look, I don't want to be too cynical. Maybe it's just media headlines, or is it true that central banks around the world are actually trying to keep investors calm? They're concerned about the stock market. That's the feeling I get. Granted, let's give it to central bank governors that the stock market is a reflection of the real economy, and the Fed and the other banks are interested in saving the real economy. But how are they going to actually do this with a virus by dropping interest rates? How will it stimulate tourism, entertainment, travel, other industries, shipping, etc., that are currently being affected? If those businesses aren't already borrowing where the 10-year rate is around 1%, how are they going to borrow at 0.75%? The ECB probably made the most sense, where they said, listen, we're going to look at whether this is just an unusual temporary shock or if it's a persistent shock. And then if it's going to have lasting impact, we'll step in. But my argument is, how will a rate cut actually help? If the problem is that people are isolated in their homes, they're not spending, maybe they're spending on Amazon, Takealot, Netflix, all of this. These companies are benefiting already. How does lowering interest rates help them? They might help them more, but I mean, that's not what you want to do. Maybe the supply chain moving goods from A to B is the problem. But if you drop interest rates and the guys are still locked in their houses, that's not going to make any difference. So, I don't know. I really have to wonder whether there's even enough powder in the keg for them to drop interest rates lower. Surely, in the short term, it's going to bring confidence to stock markets, but what is it going to do in the long term? What is it going to do for the real economy? The rhetoric that central banks have always put out is that they aim to maintain the orderly function of markets. Now, if the markets are dismal, performance is back, that means that it's disorderly or it's malfunctioning. Well, I don't think that central banks should now say, hang on. Let's not wait for the data. Let's not worry about expectations. If things are slightly negative, let's dive in quickly. That seems to be what's happening. And I think because of where the global situation is, where markets are so low, this concerns me particularly. Perhaps if matters are so bad that people can't get to work and that companies close down, then maybe the central banks can help facilitate access to financial capital for those households, those businesses, those ones with cash flow problems because of the coronavirus. And yeah, I understand that. And thinking about how we can help save the particular economy if a specific currency is being affected by the coronavirus. But other than that, yeah, I really don't get this. It concerns me that central banks are ready to add stimulus, to pump money into the market, to drop interest rates at the drop of a hat. Let the markets do what they're supposed to do. Anyway, this is Craig Martin. If you enjoyed this content, please subscribe and please share. I need to get to 100 subscribers. Thanks very much for watching.